Ladies and gentlemen, today we are thrilled to welcome Ms. Pooja Upadhyaya. What kind of a job will exist or not in the coming years?
So hiring is happening for sure. AI is a support, right? It's not a replacement. One is I'm building sports Nari project. Women is still 14% represented in sports in India.
Moment of decision that, okay, this candidate will be a fit or not.
Skill is something, of course, everybody needs. How much drive this person has, passion about doing something in life. And I tell you, I hired somebody, she was on break for 15 years.
What will be your advice to a young girl?
Everything is possible. You can start from anywhere, but you have to start.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. CeeVee. Welcome to SheSight Magazine's She Power Special podcast. In today's episode, we have a true powerhouse woman talking to you about all her different ventures and what you can learn from it. But before that, may I request you to please click on the subscribe button and support our channel. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are thrilled to welcome Ms. Pooja Upadhyaya, true powerhouse with over 22 years transforming the HR landscape. As a former national head at Randstad India, one of India's leading HR organizations, she spearheaded groundbreaking diversity and inclusion initiatives. But Pooja's impact extends far beyond corporate walls. She currently chairs the Industry Advisory Board India at the University of East London and is the visionary founder behind her Awaaz Foundation and ProHire HR solution. With a master's in psychology and business, executive education from IIM Bangalore, and leadership certification from the University of London, Pooja led Randstad's Women Forward Business Research Group and the Global Women Inclusion Network, driving gender diversity across continents. She's also a passionate writer and thought leader, inspiring others on leadership, HR trends, and personal growth. Today, we will explore her incredible journey and learn how she is building platforms that amplify women's voices worldwide. Please join me in welcoming the incredible Pooja Upadhyaya to SheSight's She Power podcast. Hi Pooja, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you for asking.
Firstly, I have to congratulate you for being part of the She Power Club, and I am hoping that powerful women like you are there to inspire all our community members. Let's get started with getting to know more about you. Tell me more about that defining moment in your life where you decided to become an entrepreneur.
First of all, thank you so much for making me part of it. And it's my personal passion to do something for, women and inspire more women. So thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. A very, I think, strong question for me because I think having a 21 years of corporate career and, moving to entrepreneurship, uh, the moment, what I feel is most defining moment was realizing the power of mentorship and representation of women.
Yeah.
So transitioning from a trainee recruiter to a national leader at Randstad and then becoming an entrepreneur was totally fueled by witnessing how support system and visibility can transform lives, be it a woman or men in both cases. But I felt that, women needed more. So I realized that, mentoring, coaching makes a big difference in your life. So while I do the same for my teams, I mentor a lot of students from different colleges. I am Amity University, University of East London, Symbiosis. I'm in the board of studies of Symbiosis also. So when I actually understood their challenges, their personal and professional challenges, and I felt that, I could be of any help, whatever I have learned, I can give back to them, plus create opportunities, more opportunities for them in the corporate, as well as I think creating a position for women. I thought that, I should start something which is more entrepreneurial and more, I think, creating, difference or maybe meaningful to the society. So this moment underscored that leadership is all about lightening the path. So if you want to really become a leader, you have to create more leaders like you who can actually, take the legacy ahead. So a principle for me which defines lightening the path for both the companies, Awaaz Foundation or either it's ProHire HR solution.
Coming back to your journey, your decision to actually launch foundation. Can we talk more about that?
One is, I think, looking at my own personal journey. had really a tough time the facing domestic violence. So we usually feel that domestic violence is all about somebody hitting you or something. But I think at times when you actually do not give access to money, you're not taking care of the child, is also a mental violence which you go through. And I've gone through this close to 2 3 years. And I realized that, biggest moment for me, that I was not financially stable. I didn't had so much of funds to raise my kid. Though I was working, but I was working for, okay, fine, husband is earning, so I have to just, take care of my maybe pocket expenses or my own, kitties and all that. But then when I realized that it is all coming to me and every responsibility I have to handle, either it's rents, it's all about, the fees or being in the giving the best of the education to my son. I thought that I think I still lack that those aspiration which I actually should have that time. And I started working in Randstad. In the part time, I was doing tuitions also to the students so that I can able to manage my finances. So that moment I realized that, the most important thing for a woman is getting financially stable, creating her own space in the system, plus having more opportunities and self-respect, self-esteem, self-respect, and everything comes with money these days. I think people who say that money doesn't matter, I don't believe in that, because every time money matters, even it is your own proficiency or upskilling you want to increase, or you want to actually spend on your kids. So for all luxuries, for all learnings, you need money.
Yeah.
And I felt, her Awaaz has this background that I felt her is, of course, in English. Awaaz is a Hindi word wherein I want more women to, raise their voices for different, issues what they face. At the same time, I really want to bring and upscale certain women in the roles wherein they are underrepresented,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe it's a leadership role or maybe it's a sales role. And, even addressing those corporate issues, which is like, a pay gap, they don't have childcare facility, sexual harassment, or their direct representation, or building a culture in the corporate. So that way, I realized that I should build some foundation which will work towards all these issues. Of course, it will not be, overnight change. It will take time. It will take a lot of advocacy. It will take a lot of collaborations. And I think I'm working towards it right now.
When someone is in that darkest phase of their life is when they realize that they can become the candle, right? And that's
Exactly.
exactly what
Exactly.
you have done. Hats off to you. Thank you so much for sharing that journey. And talking about the foundation that you have started, you said you also help or work with organizations to support
Yeah.
their women. So would you like to share some more details of that?
One is, of course, I think I'll talk about various projects which I'm, right now running. One is I'm building sports Nari project. Women is still 14% represented in sports in India.
Yeah.
And it can really make a difference in the economy if we bring more women to the sports. I think if I go back and talk about my personal, journey, wherein my parents never pushed me for sports. Why? Because, then otherwise you will become dark or you'll have injuries. How will marry you? I
Yeah.
think all that things are there.
I've heard a lot about that. Young girls are not allowed to be in sports because of all the stereotypes and biases that we have, cultural bias.
And I reached out to some, sampling to some schools,
Mhm.
some colleges, and some corporates talking about this initiative.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, even if I come from a tier two city, which is Indore, the cleanest city of India, 8 times,
Mhm.
it is still been, I think, appreciated so much, right? Schools were ready to put up, a small team wherein they want to really coach their girls. They're
Mhm.
already national and international players, but they do not have a direction.
Yeah.
So I thought that I can build a direction. So schools I reached out, colleges, who are helping me right now to build certain initiatives, which is like leagues, sports leagues, which is football, kabaddi, and cricket. So upcoming in next 1 year, we'll have those, I think, programs coming in. And the corporates, when I reached out to, I think every corporate has diversity as a biggest agenda.
Mhm.
They really want to make a difference overall and even utilizing their funds, right? CSR funds. They feel that, this is really a good area where they can upscale and bring more women. And I think nowadays we have corporate leagues also, and we are planning some corporate leagues also.
I'm keen to know again your idea about bringing in universities and other educational institutions to support or create programs related to this sports related field, which is amazing. Would you like
Yeah.
to talk about your connections or your work with the London, East London
University.
University? Yeah, I
Yeah. I think while I joined University of East London, it is last October only. I joined as a mentor, right? As a mentor and as an industry advisory board member.
would.
But I think sooner, I think they realized that we need somebody who would actually drive this agenda in India also
Mhm.
to create those gap between education and industry, bridge those gaps rather, not create. So while I realized, they felt that I am capable of sharing that responsibility for India.
Mhm.
So they already have certain industry advisory board members team, and it was just they were starting, and I met them, and it got worked out. And they also felt that I have a big industry experience, having good network, so we'll be able to get a lot of things like mentorship for our students, maybe research opportunities, certain collaboration, certain internships, and overall I think they can really make a difference in defining our curriculum also.
Yeah.
Whatever there is a gap, we can actually build it together, right? So with this agenda, I started working with them, and at present also we are kind of working. And definitely my agenda for her Awaaz, which is like women in sports, of course, is been already in discussion now that how we can actually do sports management courses,
Mm.
how we can upbring a lot of students from India, and create opportunities for them also.
That's great. That's brilliant. You come with a solid background in HR recruitment. You also have a recruitment company. What kind of a job will exist or not in the coming years? And you being in the recruitment field will be the best person to give us that insight. What is happening currently in India in terms of companies hiring and what kinds of jobs are they hiring for? Are they hiring or firing? What's happening?
So hiring is happening for sure.
Mm.
If my hands are full, means the hiring is happening in
Perfect.
various areas.
That's good news.
Right?
You're
So
starting with an optimistic news.
that's good news. It's only I think we have to realize that AI is a support, right? It's not a replacement. And if you and I think since COVID days we've been talking about upskilling, right? So it's nothing like new. You have to just upskill and see how you can utilize. Like in our HR function in recruitment, we are utilizing AI to the
Mhm.
best. Like it's either about designing your job detail, or creating an analysis, or creating a maybe an entire summary of a document, doing certain benchmarking exercises. I think we have been using it. It's not that we are totally dependent on it, but yeah, of course, like we used to do Google. So AI is another high level of, I think, Google, which is giving you an access to a lot of information. Now you have to see how you can utilize it to your best. So it's better that I'll suggest everyone to learn how to effectively use AI
Right.
rather than taking it as somebody who is your enemy. I think he's a best friend right now. Though I
Correct.
agree that a lot of creativity going, but I'm sure when my team work on it, we bring our own creativities, but we really refer to AI also.
Do you see that there is changes in patterns of hiring with regards to or different the job positions, etc., are changing in fast in this coming years?
I think big changes. I've never seen information or a job detail from a client wherein it is written that person should know how to use prompt in AI. That's something I think a big change in the JD, right? And otherwise, if you talk about the industries which are on really scaling up and hiring, of course, GCC is one. Everybody knows that there's a boom of GCC even in our location also, Madhya Pradesh. We are coming up with GCC centers. I think we have got an approval. So there'll be a lot of position coming in, financial analysts, which are, I think, more required. So BFSI sector will really boom further. Healthcare is boom because I think government is working on creating 1,000 plus more nursing colleges. There'll be nurses, and government is already working on export of nurses also. So I think healthcare is the another industry. Then pharma, which is again I think a lot of hiring happening in research or maybe, medical writers. Then we are coming up with those health tech and healthcare centers these days. So health tech is again helping, like we have a lot of companies like Tata AMG, Pharmacy and all, which is making life easy for people for, reaching out to medicines. So there are opportunities. It's only that you have to see that where you suit the best. Data analyst, or I think there are so many upcoming fields now, what I feel. Of course, there will be requirement for you, for a person to get upskill. Even now also I am learning,
Mm.
right? So this year I learned AI. I learned, I did an extensive course on how to effectively use AI in your businesses.
Yeah.
So everything when is getting automated, and if you really want to, move with that pace of the change, what you call it as VUCA world we talk about, right? So you have to move that on the same pace,
Correct.
right?
That actually also brings me to the next interesting question, which every, I think, youngsters of today will be thinking in their mind. For example, someone who is just graduating right now, who is like, in 2021, do you have some tips for them and what probably they should be doing?
I think I'll just relate it to my son. My son is 19 right now, and he's also a cricketer, right? He want to pursue cricket as a career.
Mhm.
And I know that the world is competitive right now, right? So you need to actually kind of keep upskilling yourself. Despite he's into sports, what I did, I can just tell you so that every student can take help from this. I worked on a SWOT analysis
Mhm.
with my son for him. The entire SWOT was based on strength, weakness. I know that this is you're an MBA, and I also come from the coaching and mentoring background. So SWOT is knowing your strength, then of course weakness, which I usually called it as improvement area, and see what are the opportunities, what are the threats coming in. So we worked on our entire model, and then we defined that okay, these are the strengths. Like for him, it was communication was the strength. So what exactly he can do with the communication skills? So he could start building, a career which is more of a trainer, wherein, he's imparting small trainings. And it is not necessary that you give corporate trainings. You can give trainings in your own cricket academy, doing mental toughness training for your, budding cricketers or maybe your juniors to help them to cope up with cricket. So this way, I think every student who is doing graduation now will have an entire responsibility to first know their self, right? Where they stand in terms of what are their strengths. Maybe somebody has analytical capability as higher, somebody might have maybe a writing capability, somebody is form of like an artist, some kind of art they'll be knowing. So they need to develop and keep on looking for lot of information on where they can do these developments. Are these the smaller courses required, or maybe a small diploma required, or some kind of a 3 4 day program required? Like for an example, I felt that there's a requirement of doing posh for me because I'm running 2 companies now. So I did a certification, and I know better now that how to address those things. So same way, if you actually know yourself best, working on it, you have 2 3 top level action areas for you every day. I am sure that it's not about being graduate or you are a 12th pass or your PG. I'm not saying education is not important, but at the same time, if you keep upskilling, adding on to your strength areas, I'm sure that you can always reach a career you want. And for that, maybe you don't need a placement assistance also at times.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's exactly probably the advice I have been giving to my children as well. Let me ask you this question. As an employer or a hirer or a hiring representative, what is it that thing that you actually take a decision, that moment of decision that, okay, this candidate will be a fit or not?
I think, skill is something, of course, everybody needs while I'm hiring for different industries. So I need to check whether they come with the relevant experience. But one thing I always, very focused about, how much drive this person has passion about doing something in life. So I give the chance to the person. And I'll tell you, I hired somebody, she was on break for 15 years. And I spoke to her and I asked her if you want to join my team. And definitely I never regret, because she has a drive and energy to work. She's handling both right now. Of course, she has family responsibilities also, but I think she bring lot of knowledge. She bring lot of energy and passion to the work. And I feel if you have these passion, energy, and a drive, you can work anywhere. And while I think I'm giving this information for all the employers, all the clients, what I deal with, I always tell them that this person definitely will do something because this comes with an attitude to work.
Because I think many employers have this complaint that, while during the interview, everybody says that I'll do blah, blah, blah. But when it when they're actually put into a job, the results may not be there. What do you think about that mismatch kind of a thing?
Uh, I think interview process has to be robust. In my own system right now, while I'm interviewing candidates, I'm using two, three things. Maybe that can help other employers also. Personal interview is one which can actually break the ice with the candidate, usually. You talk about their background, their stories and all. I come from a psychology background. I know the importance of psychometrics. So I use various psychometric tests also from I have a partner, and that also second area. Third is I design a lot of competency based interviews.
Mhm.
For sales, I have separate inventories which are designed by me only. Various questions and various situation based questions which checks the adaptability, the performance plus the achievement and everything of a candidate. So if you really include competency based questions, see, the problem is that people are in hurry to hire at times. Okay, fine, this position is vacant from long, so let's close it. I always suggest my clients that maybe we end up hiring a wrong person if we do not give time for taking a good level of interview with them, right? So having those competency based question really help us to 90 to 95% address a wrong hiring, right? So we end up hiring a great, good person. So they can't fake it also because those questions are not like I'll create standard competency based interview for all. So I don't create specifically a standard competency based questionnaire. I create according to the industry and the roles. And I think which is a big win for me right now in last 2 3 months.
That's excellent. That is really good. I think that is probably one of your unique service, USPs for your company, I guess, for your recruitment agency. So when you are running multiple ventures like these, how do you manage your time and other requirements? You also mentioned that you are a single parent. So obviously,
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of things when you start your day early, and I think 5 a.m. is what we start in the morning, and you have your own personal time. I'm habitual of reading a lot of books. I have books in my small library which I had. Either I read the book or maybe I read something which is creating that entire day motivation for me. That's one habit. Then I have small plants. I talk to them and do that. And I am a Reiki healer also. I'm a Reiki master healer, so I do a lot of healings in the morning to myself, for people who are around me, to help them to scale up. So that gives me a lot of energy for the entire day. And I really start my day early, which is 9:15. Um, I have a fixed hour. So for ProHire, I give time close to 5 hours. And then the next 5 hours is for her Awaaz, connecting with clients, meeting with clients, attending various events. And one unique person I meet every day, that's my habit, right? After this even podcast also, I'm going to meet someone who's new to me. And but we'll be exchanging a lot of ideas. So I learn from them. So when you have those 5 5 hours, and with University of East London also, of course, it's the similar work. What I do in ProHire, I have to speak to a lot of corporates, meet a lot of good, industry people. Same thing I have to do for industry advisory board also. So it's not an extra work for me. It is already imbibed in the work. Definitely, one thing which is very, very important is what kind of team you're hiring, whether you can trust them and delegate them or not. But that's what that, I have fantastic team in both the, companies. So you have good teams where you can delegate, you have good network, which actually helps you, and you have a lot of family support system. So being a single parent, you need to have good house help for you. And she's there to take care of your, basic things of the entire day.
so I always say this, behind every successful woman, there is a maid. And
There is a house help. Yes,
no,
exactly.
people always say behind every successful man there is a woman. So mine is like, yeah, correct. Behind every woman also there is another woman.
Exactly. No, no, definitely she's a big.
I think we are nearing the end of this wonderful conversation. I'm really inspired by listening to all your ventures and stories. One last question, which is, what will be your advice to a young girl based on your own journey?
Definitely. I think one quote which I will say, very common, but I think nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. You can start from anywhere, but you have to start. And you have to start believing that you can do, right? If you don't believe, then of course things will not happen. So start somewhere and don't think that, after education, you'll have, somebody who will take care of your all everything and expenses and, of course, husband I'm talking about. But at the same time, what is that you're creating for yourself, as your own identity? Work on creating your own self identity. I think that is the most important thing you should work on. Either it's a business or a job or any work, but keep doing and keep working.
Perfect. Thank you. So that was a wonderful closing message. Thank you once again for joining us in this ShePower podcast episode of SheSight magazine. And it's really amazing to meet such an inspiring and powerful women, and also to interact with you in our club community. And this is for the audience. If anybody wants to interact with Pooja, she is accessible through our club app. And if you want to join our club membership, please do contact us. And she'll be there to probably to even mentor others, I believe so. Yes, thank you so much once again, Pooja. It's lovely. And all the very best to the wonderful initiatives that you're doing.
Thank you so much and have a nice day. Blessed to have all of you in my network.
Hello everyone. Before you move on to the next video, I have a request to make. If you like this video and this podcast, if you gained some valuable information out of this video, I would request you to click on the subscribe button as well as follow us on our social media pages. The links are given in our description. Also, do sign up to our website, www.shesightmag.com. We have amazing women stories as well as various women initiatives that are getting launched in the coming months. I'll see you there.